screen here. I always do this, my first exercise of the day. Try that. How's that look? I don't know. I think I like that better. Okay. So, this video will talk about discounts and independent owner operators, especially if you're leased on with a big box carrier like I am with Crete. Crete, every time I turn around, they're giving me a discount on something. So let me give you a litany of discounts to give you an idea. Now, this is just not all inclusive. Just give you a taste of what the discounts are like. All right, so Crete carrier, we have fuel card. Boom, that biggest discount right there. It's huge. Let's say you pull in the Loves and the pump price is $4 a gallon. Wherever you may be, $4 a gallon. That's what the pump price is. By the time you get your pay settlement and they pay the Crete price, which comes out of your pay settlement, it could be $3.50. I've seen sometimes where the fuel discount was 75 cents off from what the pump price was actually listed as. So that's huge discount. That's saving you thousands and thousands of dollars per year. You're really lowering your fuel costs, which lowers your overhead, which increases your net income, which is more money in your pocket. That's the name of the game. So right there's a discount. Other benefits of being leased on with big box carrier, and it doesn't have to be Crete. It could be Landstar, it could be Mercer, could be Schneider, whoever. But I'm just using Crete as an example. I get discounts on tires, for example. If I need new tires for my tractor, Crete has national accounts with all the big manufacturers, Bridgestone, Goodyear, whoever, and what you do is you get it approved through the national accounts, and you get huge tax break or huge discount on the tires. So we talked about fuel, tires. Let's talk about health insurance, because as owner operators, you have to pay for your own health insurance. Now, like if you were on the spot market, you had to go find your own health insurance. Well, if you're with a big box carrier like Crete, you're on the group health plan. You pay for it, but it's at a discount, so you get that discount. Let's talk about bobtail insurance. My bobtail insurance is ridiculous. I think it's like, I don't know, $30 or $50 a month for bobtail insurance. It's incredibly low. And then once you are hauling the Crete trailer, you're covered under, Crete's insurance umbrella. It's a huge discount right there. Massive discount. There are other discounts, like say you want to go buy a grill guard. I get my grill guards from XGuard, and they're made in central Iowa near Des Moines. And then there's a Freightliner dealership there, and every time I need a grill guard, I purchase it from them, and that saves me hundreds of dollars, because I will drive through there on I-80, and I don't have to pay for shipping, because otherwise, if you buy a grill guard, the same grill guard in Dallas will cost you $200-300 more because of the shipping costs from Des Moines to Dallas. I'm like, well, that's silly. I go through Des Moines all the time, so I'll just stop in and get my grill guard there. And they give me a Crete discount. A lot of times I get Liner, and I know this is a dealership that Crete does a lot of business with. Crete purchases a majority of the fleet from Freightliner, and so that relationship with Freightliner is very, very strong. You go in there and you say, I'm an owner operator and I'm leased on with Crete. Can I get the Crete discount? Huge discount, because typically you go to the dealership and you'll get an estimate for repair. Let's say it's not under warranty. You get an estimate and it's $5,000. Then you ask for the Crete discount, they may take 10% off. So there's like $500 you just saved right there just by asking, for the discount. So those are just a handful of discounts. There's more. I mean, there's a lot more. Those are just Crete discounts. Oh, I go buy a leather seat for the truck, get the Crete discount. Every time I turn around, if I want to buy parts, for personal inventory, like I want to buy fuel filters, air filters, cabin filters, shocks, I could purchase them through the parts department at Crete at Crete discount. I don't go to Freightliner for my parts purchases for routine maintenance. I what I do is I go to the parts department at Crete, and they'll create a purchase order, and they'll take it out of my maintenance account. I pay the Crete price, and I go to Freightliner and I pick up the parts. I give them the PO number and I pick up the parts. So there's another discount. So let's talk about other discounts other than Crete. Sometimes when you have your truck in a shop, you gotta get a hotel room, right? So when you pick out a hotel, you kind of want to, experienced owner operators know this, but new owner operators or company drivers thinking about becoming an owner operator, you really need to pay attention to discounts. Because let's say you go to some Super 8 and you'd say, okay, it's $75 a night, very common hotel for truck drivers, Super 8. Ask for a CDL discount, and oftentimes they'll give you 10% off for the CDL discount. Any hotel room you ask for a CDL discount. If they don't have a CDL discount, maybe you're a AAA member and you could ask for a AAA discount. Or if you're, AARP, you could ask for a senior discount. Or if you're a veteran, you could ask for a veteran discount. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and you purchase tools, you can register with what's called ID.me, where you register your discharge papers from the military, your honorable discharge, and they'll give you a 10% discount. So when you check out, you scan a barcode on your smartphone, because it's all set up for virtual, checkout, and get 10% off. I bought a majority of my tools from Home Depot because I like Milwaukee. I would buy them with the military discount, and then later they caught on to me, and they started putting limits because people were taking a huge advantage of the discounts. So, we often talk about investing in the stock market, and just by comparison, the historical average for the S&P 500 is a 10% return on your investment. Okay, well, you can get 10% discount, just by putting forth a little bit of effort in your day-to-day money. So whether it's hotel rooms or it's tools, whether it's through your carrier, you getting discounts, that could be 10% right there. So you definitely want to pay attention to discounts. As a small business owner, you got to control overhead costs, and you're going to have huge expenses. You wouldn't think of it, but every time you turn around, there's an expense, and you don't want to be paying full price for every little thing. We talked about tax deductions in a previous video, where you save on your taxes 20% on things you purchase for the business. So like if you buy a grill guard and it's $1,000, you save $2 for every $10, 20% for your taxes. So out of $1,000, 20% would be $200. Well, you're thinking about deductibles. You're like, oh, I can write that off. I can write that off. But that doesn't mean you want to pay full price. You don't want to pay full price. If you can get that grill guard for less, then that's what you want to do. So let's talk about other ways of controlling costs. If you are buying deductible items like shop towels or paper towels, you can deduct that from your taxes. And you can buy them wholesale at a wholesale club like Sam's Club or Costco, and you're buying in bulk. You're buying your laundry detergent in bulk, your toothpaste in bulk, you're buying paper towels, you're buying shop towels, you're buying Windex in bulk. This is all ways that you can save a little bit of money. because as a business owner, you know, this is a skill set that you're going to learn to develop. Is it's not that you're pinching pennies, but this is just good business. This is good business practice. Is to pay not pay full price. You know, it's to get discounts wherever you can. So my favorite word for as a small business owner is free. I love free. And free is like it's under warranty. You know, it doesn't cost you anything. All right. So free is good. My second favorite word is discount. If I have to pay, I don't want to pay full price. I want to get a discount. You know, so that's the game. You know, that's the name of the game is you know, try to control your costs. Every time you're turning around, you're thinking as a small business owner, you know, I have to purchase, you know, all these different things. I need to stretch my dollars. And, you know, you got money to work with, but that doesn't mean you want to pay full price. You want those discounts. Because working at getting discounts is just as good as if you put your money in the stock market and got a 10% return on your stock investment. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the internet.